What is up, my wizards? Dev back again from mtg. We got some pretty insane spoilers, and these are bookended by two insane reprints. So let's go ahead and take a look at these, because I'm pretty excited if you can't tell. Well, the first reprint we're going to talk about is Knight of the White Orchid. I'm super glad this is back. That's actually a pretty cool name for a card, too. This is from Shards of Alara, and I really loved this card the first time it was in Standard. Even if it went and got the planes and just put it into your hand, that would be acceptable. But puts it onto the battlefield. It's ridiculous. It's so efficient. You get to thin your deck. You get an extra land. That's ramp. It's only 2 mana for a 2/2 first strike with crazy ability. So yeah, totally. We've been talking. Is mono white a thing? And it's looking more and more like it's totally a thing. So love this. The next two cards I want to talk about are probably the least interesting cards that got spoiled today, but especially one of them could still see some standard play. So here they are. First one is Soulblade Djinn. Soulblade Djinn is interesting. I think it's just barely not standard playable. It's a little expensive for that, when you could just play a Jutai or something like that. But in Limited, this is a beast. This is ridiculous in Limited. Remember, there's a couple of creatures that do this. Whenever you prowess, basically, all your creatures get a bonus, and that's so far that's been really good. And on a 4/3 flyer, I can't see how that would possibly be bad. This card looks bonkers in Limited, but I don't think it's quite there for standard play. And this other one that I do think could possibly see some standard play, I'm just not totally sure. Sylvan Messenger. This is pretty cool. Obviously, in an elf deck, you can power this out 3rd, 4th turn. But I like to play it, I would imagine, later on in the game. 4th, 5th turn in an aggressive deck like this, you're starting to run out of cards in your hand. So an effective refill, a lot of the time, is a pretty good prospect, all things considered. I don't really like the cost on it, though. I mean, if this was 3, it would probably be fairly broken, but obviously the 4 mana is kind of a safety valve for this card being too good. But really do like it. I do. I'm just not entirely sold. And in standard decks, if it is in, I don't think it'll be a 4-of or anything. Let's put it that way. Here's something that caught everybody's eye. This is Vryn Wingmare. Yeah, it's a non-legendary Thalia. It costs 1 more, but this one flies, so that's kind of cool. It doesn't first strike, but flying is really important. So I think a lot of people like this card, although a lot of people are down on the flavor, Like, Vryn is supposed to be this amazing wizard, and he costs a lot of non-creature spells, blah, blah, blah. So why do non-creature spells cost more? So, I mean, I'm with them on the flavor aspect of it, but as far as playability goes, which is why we're all here, this is a very playable card. While I've been, tinkering around with mono-white soldiers or just mono-white mid-range, I've been thinking, like, should this just be a straight up like a Blitz or a Zoo deck that plays mostly creatures, or should I play a lot of non-creatures? This really makes a case for a very creature-heavy mono-white mid-range deck, and I think I'm going to start working on that. I like this card. More Elves. A day of Elves today. We got a lot of good ones. This one's Dwynen's Elite, and I do like this. We like 2 mana 3/3s. Those are always good. This is 2 mana for 3 power split among 2 creatures. And it goes with the whatever of the pack. I don't know if it's still question mark of the pack, but it was the other day. It goes very well with that. This 2nd turn, that 3rd turn. And we have found out that only costs 3 mana. We thought it might be 4. It costs 3, making it freaking bananas. So this goes very well with it, and yeah, I can't say how much I like this card. Fantastic, great card for the elf deck. Speaking of great cards for the elf deck, and this one's very well designed, I think. This is Gnarl Root Trapper, the dumbest name ever, Gnarl Root Trapper, but still really interesting card, sort of a reverse Elves of Deep Shadow in some ways. That 2nd ability is really relevant, the Death Touch to an attacking elf you control. That is actually fantastic. It makes your guys a threat, and it makes this dude a good top deck late game, which mana accelerating creatures usually aren't. So gives him some value late game too. I like that. So I am a huge fan of this card. The design, the standard implications, the modern implications for that matter. Commander's going to play this with the NAF deck. So I think this is a fantastic card that all Elves decks throughout most formats are going to really want to play. And finally, the 2nd reprint of the day. This is where, like, I really don't know what the hell they're thinking. This is Goblin Piledriver back again to Wreck Face. In this format, we have Goblin Rabblemaster, Dragon Fodder, Hordling Outburst. There's like Foundry Street Denizen. That's a goblin, I think. So, just like, what are you doing, Wizards? Like, why is this in this set? Like, it's just an absolutely... If no one was around to play against Goblin Piledriver the first time it was in the format of just a few years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, this card is just ridiculous. It's a pain in the neck to play against. It always gets huge. In this format, it's just going to get bigger. Like, you can Piledriver followed up with a Rabblemaster or Hordling Outburst or something, and then just start going crazy on them. Like, this in and of itself makes goblins a thing. We see all these little elves popping up. We're like, oh, elves is probably a thing. Just this card being spoiled by itself, it could be the only goblin in the set, and it makes goblins a relevant deck. So, I'm not really sure how much I like this card's inclusion. It's just very, very impactful. Trust me, this card is absolutely nuts. So, and you're going to hate playing against it, but you're going to love playing with it. I'm a big fan of, mono red aggro, and this goes in that. Like I said, Rabblemaster, Dragon Fodder, Hordling Outburst, Foundry Street Denizen. There's so many crazy goblins, and this is just unbelievable that this card is back. I'm really not sure how I feel about that. Well, that's all we got for today so far. I've got a feeling there's going to be more. Again, these are insane spoilers. I mean, and there's a reason we did that. It's Friday, it's F&M, everyone's going to be talking. Talk amongst yourselves about all these because some of these are just absolutely unbelievable. This is a really good set so far. I like the amount of, playable, just actual playable in standard and modern for that matter cards. And the amount of like weird freaky stuff we're getting that like whole new decks are going to be built around. So kudos so far on the set, even though I'm pretty sure half of it, not even half of it, has been spoiled yet. So we got a lot to see. So sub if you haven't done that yet. Like, share, comment, subscribe. It helps us grow so much, and we're trying to do that. Like I said before, I like doing this. I hope you guys like it too. So in any case, I'm Dev from Strictly Better MTG. I'm going to try to put out another deck tech here in the next couple of days. White-green enchantments with Magic Origins. This deck actually looks killer. Like, this deck actually looks very, very solid. So let me know how you feel about that, and I'll go ahead and kick it out. And let me know how you feel about these cards as well, as usual, because I'm interested in that. So yeah.